A very good morning to my dear students. So, today we are actually planning to go with the exercise portion in the second section under unit 5. So, you already knew that we had skipped 2 chapters from unit 5, and those skipped chapters will be taken at the end. You don't worry about that. So, today here in this class we are actually planning to go with the exercise portions which are included in the second section under unit 5. So, for that you have to take page number 120. Here we have a grammatical item, and today this class is entirely assigned to deal all those grammatical items which are included in this section. So, here we are going with the first grammatical item, non-finitives or present participle. Non-finitives or present participle. Okay. So, here we are going with the non-finitives or present participle. What do you mean by non-finitives or present participle? So, you might have heard about past participle. See, for example, I am asking you, please imagine that I am asking to you what is actually the past participle form of the verb go. You will definitely have your own answers that past participle form of the verb go is gone. Yeah, we all know go, went, gone. So, V1, V2 and V3. So, if I ask such a question, which is actually the past participle form of the verb go, you will definitely say that gone is actually the past participle form of the verb. Likewise, but it is not actually the present participle form of the verb or word go. So, likewise, each and every word has its own present participle form. Okay, you know that a verb has past participle form. So, likewise, each and every word has present participle form also, and this present participle form is also known as non-finitives. Now, can you have any idea about what is actually the present participle form of the word go? Very simple. Present participle form of the word go is going. So, we can create or we can construct the present participle of a particular word by adding ing. So, going is actually the present participle form of the word go. Likewise, come, coming, attend, attending. So, likewise, if we add ing form to a base verb or base word, we get actually the present participle form or the non-finitive form of that particular word. So, I hope that you understood it. You got an idea about what a present participle and what a present participle. Okay. So, non-finitive is actually the synonym for present participle. Okay. So, you have to keep this information in your mind. Now, we are actually going to discuss the other thing which is given under the title non-finitives or present participle. Okay. Now, here you will have given two sentences. So, I am going to write those two sentences on blackboard. So, once I finished writing those two sentences on the blackboard, you have to closely observe it and you have to say which are the differentiation between these two sentences or which are actually the specialities each sentence has got when comparing to each other. Okay. Now, all of you please have a look at these sentences, these two sentences. The Prime Minister is visiting the UAE next month. The Prime Minister visiting the UAE next month. Now, tell me what is actually the difference between these two sentences? Yeah, definitely one can easily find that the first sentence is a complete sentence and the second sentence is not a complete sentence. Very simple. The first one is a complete sentence. There is a completion of meaning, there is a completion of sense in it. So that is what we are actually addressing this sentence as a completed sentence. And when coming to the second example, this is not a complete sentence because it doesn't have a complete sense or it doesn't have a complete meaning. And then tell me, what is the reason behind this? Why you are saying that the first sentence is complete, the second sentence is incomplete or not complete? Why you are saying so? Very good. Yeah. So in order to, if a sentence should be completed, if a sentence needs to be completed, what all parts it should have? Very good. There must be the subject part and there must be the predicate part. So then that means the first sentence has a subject and predicate part as such, but the second sentence doesn't have either a subject or a predicate in it. Now let us go to explain it, or let us go to analyze it. Okay, the Prime Minister is actually the subject part here. The Prime Minister is actually the subject part. Then is visiting is actually the predicate part. So the first sentence has a subject part and a predicate part. So we can undoubtedly say that it is a complete sentence. When coming to the second example, the Prime Minister is actually the subject part. So it does have subject part, no doubt. And what is actually missing here? Visiting. That means, yeah, it doesn't have a predicate part. It doesn't have a predicate part. So we can undoubtedly say that it is an incompleted sentence. Okay, once again, please listen. The Prime Minister is actually the subject and is visiting. The UAE next month is actually the predicate part. Okay, so the first sentence has a subject part and a predicate part as well. So we can call it as a complete sentence. When coming to the second example, the Prime Minister is actually the subject part and visiting the next month is actually the second part, but it doesn't have, it can't be considered as a predicate part. Why? Because it is not complete. Why we are saying that it is incomplete? Yeah, here this verb is non-finite. That is actually the point we are actually going to make. This verb is actually non-finite. This verb is actually non-finite and this verb is actually finite. So is plus verb plus ing form is counted as finite or considered as finite form, and only ing form, that means the ing form of a verb is considered as non-finite. Okay, so why this portion together form as a predicate? Because it has a finite form, it has a finite verb. So usually a finite verb forms a predicate. Here is visiting is actually the finite form of a verb, and this finite form of a verb is actually forming here the predicate. But when coming to the second example, the visiting is actually not a finite verb. Visiting is actually not a finite verb, but it is actually a non-finite verb. So it can't form a predicate. Since the sentence does not have a predicate, it is incomplete. So that is actually the point which we are going to make. Okay. So, as I said, visiting is actually the non-finite verb here. So, such words are known as, or such verbs are known as non-finitives. That is the first heading we have written in the beginning of this class, non-finitives or present participle. So, such words or such verbs are together known as non-finitives or present participle, means the ing form. Okay. So, this is actually the point you have to remember and you have to be well versed with. Now, we are actually going to discuss the exercises given at the end of this grammatical portion. So, for that you have to take page number 121. So, read the question. Study the following group of words, underline the finite verbs and bracket the non-finites. So, I hope that you are well versed with what is finite verb and what is non-finite. So, we just had a detailed discussion right now. So, I am sure that you are well versed with finite verb and non-finite verb. So, please bring to your memory is visiting. Is visiting is actually the finite verb and visiting is actually the non-finite verb. That means, yeah, if you look at is visiting, we can definitely spot which is the tense. Is visiting, present continuous. So that is actually a shortcut or that is actually a clue. Yeah, verbs with tense are regarded as finite verbs and verbs without tense are regarded as non-finite. See, look at the example visiting. By looking at the word visiting, we can't spot which is the tense. It is only an ing form. So, such words are known as non-finite. That means, verbs without tense are identified as non-finite. Okay. Anyway, now we can just go. Totally 10 sentences are given here. So, you have to underline. If it is a finite verb, you have to underline, and if it is a non-finite verb, you have to bracket it. So, before going to enter the exercises given here, you should have an idea about the difference between finite verb and non-finite verb. So, easily speaking, verbs which have the past or the present form are usually referred here as finite verb. So, see, for example, if a word is written in its past or present form, yeah, it comes under finite category. And verbs in any other form like ing form or ed form or past participle form, they all are come under this category. I hope that you understood the idea. And there is one more explanation. Verbs with tense are associated with finite verb and verbs without tense are associated with non-finite verb. That is what I just mentioned right now. Yeah. See, for example, the is visiting, we can clearly spot the tense as present continuous. So, there verbs with tense. Is visiting is actually a verb with tense. So, it can be come under finite category. And without tense, visiting, we can't spot which tense the particular bird belong. Visiting. It might be if was is used there, it will be past continuous. If is used there, it will be present continuous. So, we can't spot the tense by looking at the word visiting. Such verbs without tense are referred here as non-finite verbs. Okay. So, now I think you are able to complete these 10 sentences. So look at the example, first example given there. The student took the book. Yeah, past form. So it might be an infinite verb. So you can underline it. Then the books taken by the student. Verbs in any other form like ing, verbs in any other form than other than past or present. So taken is actually the past participle. So it comes under verbs in any other form. So it is an example of non-finite verb. So similarly we can do one more one pair of exercise. Rida takes her books to class. Takes is actually present form. So it is finite verb. Then Rida is taking her books to class. Again verbs with tense. Is taking. There we can spot the tense. So verbs with tense. So Rida is taking is actually a verb with tense. So it comes under finite category. So similarly you can do the rest of the sentences. The remaining 8 can be done by you as homeworks. Okay, now we are actually moving with the other item given on the same page. See the present participle, the past participle, then the infinitive. Okay, so the present participle, as I already mentioned, is the ing form. So coming is actually the present participle form, or going is actually the present participle form, or non-finitives. Okay. Then past participle, yeah, if it is come is the past participle, that means V3 form. If it is gone is the past participle form. Okay, and the infinitive is actually the 2 plus base form. So what is the base form of the verb come? Come is actually the base form. What is actually the base form of the verb gone? Go is the base form. So 2 plus base form is the infinitive form. That means to come and to go, to take, to teach, to learn, to study, to attend. So all these comes under the infinitive category. That means 2 plus base form of the verb. Okay, so these you have to note and you have to learn. The present participle is the ing form, the past participle is the V3 form, and the infinitive form is actually the 2 plus base form of a particular base form of any verb. Okay. So so after this we have another grammatical item, some uses of the present participle. So we have already learned present participle. What is actually present participle? The ing form is actually known as present participle or non-finitive form. So here we are actually going to discuss some uses of the present participle. Okay, let us check what are they. Okay, now listen. Here you will have given 3 sentences together. 3 sentences. So now we are actually going to learn the different or some uses of present participle. So if you closely analyze these 3 sentences, you can find present participle here. So our new apartment has no running water. So running is actually the present participle form. The long walk to fetch water was tiring. Tiring is actually the present participle form. The lady crossing the road is my English teacher. Crossing is actually the present participle form. Now we can go with the first one. Our new apartment has no running water. Here this present participle is used to speak about the noun water. Our new apartment has no running water. So that is what here it is said that in this sentence the present participle running does the work of an adjective. That means here it is used here to qualify the noun. A word which is used to qualify the noun is known as adjective. So here running, that means here the present participle is doing the work of an adjective. That means it tells more about the noun water here. So what you have to learn from this is sometimes present participles can be used as adjectives. Sometimes present participles can be used as adjectives. So here in this sentence, running is actually used here. Running means the present participle is used here to qualify the noun. So that means it does the work of an adjective here. It speaks more information about the noun water. So sometimes present participle can take the role of an adjective, or it can be used as an adjective in some situation. So this is the thing you have to note from this example. Now we are actually going to do the second example. What is the second example? Now listen, we are going with the second example. The long walk to fetch water was tiring. What do you mean by fetch? To go and find. To go and find. So the long walk to go and find water was tiring. So now listen, here also we have a present participle tiring. So here in this sentence also, this present participle is used as an adjective. Yeah, it is used here to qualify the noun. See, look at the example. The long walk was tiring. What is tiring? The long walk. So in that way, tiring, this present participle is used to qualify or to say something more about this noun. So the long walk was actually tiring. Okay. So here the present participle tiring functions as an adjective, which is the complement of the verb was. Here tiring is actually used as a complement of this of the verb was. Tiring performs the function of an adjective which is actually the complement of the verb was, and this is known as a subject complement. What do you mean by a subject complement? A subject complement is actually a word or a phrase. Here it is a phrase, was tiring. So subject complement, sometimes it might be a word or sometimes it might be a phrase. Here it is a phrase, was tiring. And it is usually followed by a linking word. What is a linking word here? To fetch. To fetch is actually the linking verb here. Why we are calling it as a linking verb? Yeah, this is actually the linking word which connects the beginning part to the ending part. So in that way it can be taken as a linking word. So subject complement is actually a word or a phrase which is followed by a linking word. So here this phrase is appeared after the linking word. It is placed after the linking word. So subject complement is a word or a phrase that follows a linking word and identifies or describes what? The subject. So here the long walk is subject, and this subject complement comes or it is followed by linking word and it describes or identifies the subject. So it actually identifies what? The subject. What is actually tiring here? The long walk. So this is actually a subject complement. So here what you have to remember or what you have to learn is that here also the present participle is actually used here as an adjective, and at the same time which is the complement of the verb was. Okay. This is another use of present participle. Now we are going to the third one. Listen, the lady crossing the road is my English teacher. Here also we have a present participle. Here the present participle is actually act as an adjectival phrase. Yeah, this crossing is used here to qualify the noun, the lady. So that is what it is said here, that in this sentence the present participle crossing helps to form an adjectival phrase qualifying the noun lady. Crossing the road. It is an adjectival phrase which is used here to qualify the noun. And remember another thing, adjectival phrases usually follow the nouns they qualify. So actually the place of the adjectival clause in a particular sentence will always be after the noun, because the adjectival phrase or the adjectival clause is actually qualifying what? Qualifying the noun. So it only occur after the noun. Okay. So these are the things you have to remember in using past participle. So these are actually some uses of present participle. Okay. Now you will have a set of exercises. Write the present participle form of the following verbs as shown in the example. Pay attention to the spelling. Okay. See, in sometimes there will be a slight changes in the spelling also when we create present participle. So for example, look at the first one, cheer. Cheer, we can create the present participle by adding ing. So cheering. So hardly there is no change in the spelling as such, even though it is converted to present participle. But take the second one, winning. Win, present participle is winning, but there we have to add one more n, W-I-N-N-I-N-G, winning. So that is what here it is said, that pay attention to the spelling. So anyway, you will have 14 words here. So you have to create or construct the present participle form, and after that you have to complete the passage that is given after that. So use some of the present participle from exercise B to complete the passage below. Notice that the missing words have an adjectival function. That means here it is used as adjectives. Okay. And the meanings of 4 words are given alongside the blank. So you can easily take the suitable one. So see, for example, the first one, the meaning is given in the bracket, very, very full. So you can easily select the suitable word among the 14 words given above, yeah, having the same meaning, that of very, very full. Very, very full, which is actually the synonym for that, overflowing. So we can easily identify the word as, the adjective as overflowing. So we can write, Rose walked into the overflowing stadium. So like that, likewise you have to complete the other 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 adjectives using the appropriate one from the 14 adjectives given above. Okay. So the next item is to infinitive. I have already mentioned that. So look at the sentences. Jamal cycled in the rain to buy some groceries. In this sentence, the infinitive to buy is used to show purpose or intention. Then take the second example, the thief managed to escape. There the infinitive is used to show the result of something. The website explains how to apply for a scholarship. In this sentence, the infinitive to apply is used to show an action that you want to or advise to do. Okay. So in the first case, it is used to speak about an intention. In the second case, it is used to speak about a result, and in the third case it is used to speak about an advice or something like that. Okay. So, anyway you have to remember that 2 plus infinitive, that means 2 plus verb form, 2 plus base form of the verb. So, look at the exercise, the examples given here: to buy, to escape, to apply. So, everywhere it is 2 plus the base form. Okay. Sometimes it may be used for saying a purpose, sometimes it may be used for saying a intention, saying an intention, sometimes it may be used to say about an advice or something like that. Okay. So, this also you have to remember. So, based on 2 plus infinitive, you will have a set of exercises given below. So, look at, so read the question: using the words and phrases given, make sentences as in the example. So, you have to make sentences, make 5 sentences according to the example given there. So, listen the first one. So, here it is actually the application of 2 plus infinitive. So, you have to create sentences, you have to create 5 sentences, using 2 plus infinitive. So, look at the first one: Mohan buy a computer, save money now. Buy a computer and save money. So, these are the 2 actions you have to mention here. So, look at the example: Mohan is now saving money to buy a computer. Okay, Mohan buy a computer and save money. So, you have to apply 2 plus infinitive. Why? In what way? Mohan is now saving the money for what? To buy a computer. Okay. Likewise, how will be the second one? Yesterday, leave for Delhi, Ruth attend a wedding. Yeah. Ruth left for Delhi to attend a wedding. Okay. Ruth left for Delhi to attend a wedding. So, likewise you have to complete the remaining sentences using or applying 2 plus infinitive. So, I think this is all about today. We have finished many areas of grammar. First, we have spoken about the non-finitives and present participle. Then we had a small discussion on present participle, past participle and infinitive. Then we had a discussion, a detailed discussion on the some uses of present participle, and finally we discussed 2 plus infinitive form, 2 plus base form of the verb. Okay. So, I think this is enough for today. Anyway, I hope that you understood everything which we discussed today. Anyway, thank you and have a nice day.